And then you're assigned to read the syllabus and study it, make sure you understand it, and then sign and date and bring in the last page of the syllabus. So you're going to print it out, and then you're going to bring the last page, which is basically a contract in which you're agreeing to do the requirements for the course as set forth in the syllabus. You'll bring that next time. So this is called homework number 1. How many have the books for the course? There are 2 books for the course, one by Callett and one by Huff. Callett's book is Introduction to Psychology. That's written right here under the title, so you've got my name and office. And then it says books, Callett, Intro to Psychology, Introduction to Psychology. You can use any edition of Introduction to Psychology. Anybody been to the bookstore to look for the books? Anybody have the book yet? Nobody has the book. How much does it cost there?
I rented it,
So you rented it for, how much do they rent it for?
It may be wrong, but maybe like $40.
Somewhere around 40 bucks to rent the book. The newest edition is something like 280. I'll show you how to do better than that. You should be able to get a copy in the next 2 days for $20 or less, including the shipping. So we'll take a look at that here. I don't know what it looks like for you when you sign in to Titanium. Everybody signed into Titanium already, so you know how to do that? Anybody not know how to do that? Kyle can help you with that if you're not. This is what it looks like for faculty when we sign in. Here's Titanium with the T on there. So if I go to Titanium, then I get Titanium Summer 2014, Spring 2015, Spring 2015 Psych Section 10. And you're going to see that the syllabus is here. So the first thing you see when you get there is the syllabus, then the course materials. I'll use the word handout sometimes for the syllabus, for this material. Sometimes I'll call it the course materials. So I hear cell phones going off here.
I don't think so.
Okay. Let me introduce this embarrassed person. This is Lee Hobson Birnbaum. She's related to me by marriage. She's emeritus here. She should apply for emeritus. That is, she's retired here, used to teach in child development. All right, so you're going to print this out, and then you should print this one out. This one I want you to read. You don't need to print it out. It's a Psychology Department Student Handbook. I want you to read the Psychology Department's Student Responsibility Code. It says what things that are assumed to be the student's responsibility. Then there's this link, how to buy Callett and the Huff books used from Amazon. You can also search elsewhere on the internet, but I'm going to click this link right now. So any edition will do. Let me explain to you something about publishing so you understand why there's so many editions. Is the introductory psychology changing that fast that they need to come out with a new edition every couple of years? And the answer is no. The basic material is the same as it's been for the last, say, 15 years. It hasn't changed that much. The advanced material is changing. That's in the psychology journals. That's beyond intro psych. We're not assigning that material to you, but the basic things in psychology aren't changing. So why publish the same book? Here they're already up to about the 11th edition by now. I've got links here. These are the cheaper versions, edition 5, 6, 7, and 8. The 7th is a pretty good one because you can get them, I think, right now for 1 cent plus shipping. That's where they get you. College students, if you look at Amazon, it says free 2-day shipping for college students. I don't know if that's true for the 1 cent items. It may be you have to pay 30 bucks or 40 bucks before they'll give you the free shipping, but 2-day shipping is $15. So if you wanted to get a 1-cent book, it's a little less than, it'd be under $15. So let's see if we can get some editions for 1 cent. But they'll go as high, I even saw one for $550, one of the Khaled editions. So here's Introduction to Psychology by Khaled. 2 customer reviews, got pretty 4.5 stars. Hardcover, $30. You can get them for used for $30. Paperback, you can get them for 1 cent. 77 people are offering it used for 1 cent, starting at 1 cent. Let's go take a look and see. 77 used for 1 cent. We go over here. This person is offering it 1 cent used in good condition. This person has 91% positive ratings. They've done 8,000 books worth of business. This person has 95% positive. They're higher rated. They've done 60,000 customers, so they've done more business and they're higher rated. They're also charging 1 cent. They rate it as very good. You might choose this one over this one. First person that signs up for this is going to get this one. Notice expedited shipping is available. So the standard shipping may take you a couple of weeks to get it. That's $4. So I mean $3.99 plus 1 cent, that'd be $4 for the book. But you can get expedited shipping 2 days for $14, 1-day shipping for $20. So you could get this book by tomorrow for $20. We can go through and see the first few people are going to get it for 1 cent, but the longer you wait, the higher the price is going to be. Notice you're going to have to pay 67 cents if you wait, and then 98, and then $1.53, $1.53, and there's a lot of copies. We can go on here for $1.53. Quite a few of you are going to get it for $1.53. And it goes on up eventually to $550. Who would prefer to wait till it's $5.50? Nobody. Okay, so I would recommend signing up if you want to get it cheap. Go to that. So this is the 7th edition. It'll work just fine. There's also, if you can't get that one cheap, if they're, by the time you go there, they're all sold out. You could try for the 6th edition. You can get this one hardback for $4. The other one, the hardback, was $30. A collectible for $88. For paperback, you know, there's somebody selling this one for 1 cent also. So there's the 6th edition. Anyhow, you can do the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th. You can go buy the expensive editions. They're more. They're also available from Amazon, also available from the bookstore. The only problem with it, now let me just go tell you again, why are the booksellers come out with new editions? Anybody thought about that yet?
Make money.
To make money. Why does a new edition make money?
It's pretty.
What?
It's pretty.
Because it's pretty. Does everything that's pretty make money? Well, some things that are pretty make money. It's prettier, that's true. That's the main difference between the old editions and the new editions. They come out with new artwork. So the old editions, they say somebody, there's a picture of somebody on the phone, they're holding the big phone like this. Then the next edition is the smaller phone, and then a smaller phone, then a little flat phone, then one of the flap open phones. Then finally the latest edition, it's like a smartphone, right? So that's how you know it's the latest edition. And then the hairstyle, you know, they got all kind of weird hairstyles to show you that it's an old edition. They do that intentionally. If you read the caption to the picture, some of the pictures in the book are important for you to read. Some of them, the caption says, this picture is just here to make the book look out of date later. Psychology is important even to people on the phone. There's the guy with the afro and the big phone, you know. All right. So why are they really doing it? Not just because it's pretty. I mean, that's the main difference among the editions. That's true. But they're making money. Why? Because when the book sells, what do a lot of students do after the semester? They sell it back, and then it resells. Does the book publisher get anything from that? Or the author? No, the author only gets money on when they sell the first edition, right? When they sell the first copy. Once it goes to the used books and gets resold, they don't make any more money. So they want to come out with a new edition that'll look up to date, that people will buy and pay the up to $280 to $550 for the book. Whereas you can get it for 1 cent used plus shipping over here from Amazon. So if you want to save money, you do it that way. If you want to benefit Khaled, he's probably a nice fella, I don't know. You know, you want to benefit him and the publishers, you can buy the $550, and the sellers buy the $550 version. So that's one of the books. In the edition of Khaled, Intro to Psych. The other book is Huff's little book, How to Lie with Statistics. You can also get that at Amazon. It's not that much more here. I don't know what they're charging it right here. Here's one for $4.24 plus shipping. By the time you pay the shipping and the tax, I don't know if it's going to be that different. How much is it for? They're selling that for over at the bookstore. Probably $15 or $20 at the bookstore. It's probably not that much more, but you could also order Huff from Amazon if you like. This one also has expedited shipping. This seller has expedited shipping. And you can go through and look for any printing of this. There's only one edition, but there are different printings. It's been reprinted, I don't know, 15 or 20 times. That's because people buy that book and they keep it. All right. I'm also assigning to you to do the questionnaire. So there's a questionnaire for you to do. So you're going to go to Titanium. You're going to buy the textbooks. You're going to do the questionnaire. And you're going to do the pre-test in psychology. Later in the course, you're going to take the same test as a post-test, and hopefully there'll be some improvement from the pre-test to the post-test. Presumably, don't worry about this now. I haven't covered that material yet. So you just do the best you can, and we'll see how you do, and we'll compare how people do at the end of the course with how they did at the beginning. It's not very long. You're going to have 12 minutes to do about 10 items. So you're going to go on there, do the best you can. It'll give you a feeling for what it's like to take the exams that we have in the course. All right, so there's the assignment for you to do. You're going to do the questionnaire. You're going to do the pre-test. Those are due before the next class, Thursday, before 2:30. Recommend doing it not at the last minute because sometimes Titanium is down. Sometimes the course website that you see at the end of the first, there's also a course website that if the Titanium is down, you can go to this course website, which is printed here in bold, up about one paragraph from the bottom of the page. All right, there's a schedule of what to read. I would like for you to read the materials assigned here before the week that it's listed there. You can't have already done the syllabus, so you should do that right away. The syllabus, the course materials, I'd like for you to look at Khaled's preface, the information in the introduction to the student, with advice about being a student. I'll give you more of that later in this class, advice about being a university student. One piece of advice I'll give you right now, don't apply for credit right now. There's a lot of people who are going to walk into class and offer you a form to fill out. Put your name down here and I'll give you a credit card. Some of them are just going to take the information and apply for credit in your name and you'll be screwed. You'll owe a lot of money. They're going to bring up a lot of charges. They just want to get your information, your mother's birth date, mother's maiden name, your phone number, your social security number. Don't fill out something like that. Somebody comes in front of class, says to the instructor, I need to make an announcement, is that okay? And the instructor says okay. And they say, I have jobs, pay $17.50 an hour for students. You can do it at home on your computer. Fill out this sheet of paper. They want your social security number, your name and address, your birth date, all that information. Don't fill that form out. They're basically planning to screw you. You know, this criminal activity, the instructor is silly enough to say, yeah, you can make an announcement like he knows the guy, right? Don't fill that form out. And if it is a reputable bank, and they say, we're going to give you credit, don't apply for credit until you understand interest rates. If you don't understand what 8% interest for 5 years, how much that's going to cost you, if you can't make that calculation right now quickly, don't apply for credit. Right? You do not want to have credit cards until you understand how credit works. Okay, so that's advice about being a student these days. Right now, students owe $1 trillion in debt. It's the next economic crisis that's coming in this country. How many of you know what caused the economic crisis of 2008? Right? You understand what caused that crisis? Not too many hands, I see a couple here. What caused that economic crisis in 2008? Sometimes they call it the mortgage crisis. Millions of people lost their homes. They're still losing their homes related to that same crisis. About 1 million people a year have been losing their homes in the United States. They applied for credit they couldn't afford to pay, so they're losing their homes. The next crisis is already looming overhead, student debt. Students have gotten themselves into a lifetime of debt. Let me put it to you in simple language. Here's the deal when you apply to a reputable bank like Chase or Bank of America for student loans. The deal is this: give me half of everything you earn for the rest of your life, and I will give you $1,000 now. Is that a good deal? It's not a good deal. That's the deal, basically. That's how it translates. If you look at the numbers, look at the mathematics, you're signing up, give me half of everything you own. All right, I'll give you more advice later about being a student. Get into intro psych here. These are the first things for you to do. I want you to look at the advice from Calit. There's the schedule. We're going to have an exam in here on March 10th. Not my favorite way to spend my birthday. That's my birthday. March 10th. It'll be here. You'll need to bring your photo ID. You'll need to know your campus-wide ID. Does everybody know their campus-wide ID? If not, if you can get into Titanium, you can get your ID. But you'll need to know that to fill that out on the form. You'll need to bring a photo ID and pencils and erasers. It'll be closed book, closed notes, no calculators, computers, cell phones, other kinds of devices. It's not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You don't get to call somebody during the exam for advice. Then we're going to have, I'm just skipping ahead, we got a spring break for a while, no classes. Campus will be open most of those days. The library will be open except maybe one of them is a holiday. Cesar Chavez Day. Then we have the last class is May 7th. There's a research requirement. I'll go over that in just a bit. That'll be due in the class. You'll bring that to class. Then the final exam is May 14th at 2:30. That'll be here for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Final exam will cover everything in the course. It'll emphasize the last half of the course, but it'll cover the whole course. Any questions about the sheet that I just handed out? Or what you need to do? I'm going to go over the syllabus with you, and then I want you to print it out and study it. Yes.
We don't need like the online CDs or the book, right?
Some editions of the book include a CD. That's nice, but you don't need that.
Okay.
So you can get any edition, but not the study guide for Calit, but Calit's Introduction to Psychology. So when you look online, you may see the study guide for Calit's Introduction to Psychology. That's a separate book. Some of you may want that book. I'm not assigning it. You know, it might be nice. Some people might find it helpful, but that's not the same as the book. Some of the editions come with the CD. That's nice, but I'm not assigning or requiring it. So that's like an extra, you know, if you get the edition with the CD, that would be nice. Sometimes when you buy it online, it says the CD is included, but when you get the book, if somebody has taken the CD out, so, you know, you're not going to send it back if you bought it for $1.53 and the shipping is more than $1.53, you know, you'd be better off just to buy another one, right? All right, so let's see. Any question about this so far? Now, we need to distinguish what we do in here, which is university psychology, from what I'll call pop psychology. And to explain that difference, I'm going to use some terms that I hope you do know. You know the difference between astrology and astronomy? Both of them have aster in there, right? Aster means star. When you see that in a book, that's an asterisk, a star, or the star symbol, called an asterisk. Astrology's got, both of them got something to do with the stars, but they're not the same, are they? Do we teach astrology here at this university?
No.
Do we teach astronomy at the university here? Universities teach astronomy, astrology. Now, astrology, is it scientific?
No.
Is there an article on astrology in the newspaper every day? Is there an article on astrology in Cosmopolitan magazine every month? Is there an article on astronomy in Cosmopolitan magazine every month? Some days there's an article on astronomy in the newspaper, but every day there's an article on astrology. What's astrology? Well, that's a 3,000-year-old science that didn't update itself for the last 2,300 years. They haven't bothered to update their tables. Do people know what sign you were born under? It's wrong. It's supposed to be where the sun was compared to the positions of the zodiac on the day you were born. But those tables you see in the newspaper, they're 2,000 years out of date. So they got it wrong. If you want to know actually where the sun was, get yourself an astronomy program and look up on the date of your birth where the sun is. Then you can figure out which zodiac symbol. Now, it used to be thought that where the sun was on the day you were born would say something about what life held in store for you. What was going to happen to you? What were you going to be like? Would you be successful? Would you be rich? Would you end up being murdered before you're 18? That was astrology. But nowadays, what do scientists adhere to astrology? At conferences, do they say, "What's your sign, man?" Do people say that at scientific conferences? No, they don't. Why? Because it didn't work. Now these positions of these stars, are there really a scorpion up there and some fishes and crabs and things? If you're born under the sign of Cancer, does that mean you're going to get cancer? No, it just means that's where the sun was. It turns out there isn't any correlation between where the sun was when you were born and anything. Did they used to look at charts and tables and geometry to try to work out what life held in store for you? Yeah, they used to. Do they do that anymore? No, they just make it up. So the newspaper says, beware, trusting people too much this week because the moon is in ascension. You look over there, is the moon ascension? No, they didn't check their table. Moon's not in ascension. Well, if it was, would that have made a difference? No. Where the moon is doesn't determine whether you should trust somebody or not. So this is not scientific. Well, if it's not scientific, why is it in the newspaper? Because it's entertaining. It's for fun. I'll say, for fun and entertainment. We don't teach it here at the university. Why? Because there isn't any real educational merit to it. And if you actually believed in it, it's kind of dangerous when world leaders, and we've had some here in the United States in the past, that had their own astrologers saying, is this a good time to start a nuclear war? And do you trust an astrologer to make these decisions for you? Somebody that believes in this? Is that a safe person to be advising presidents? Is a president that believes in it a good one to elect? Well, it's for fun, but it could be dangerous. Somebody says to you, I've just done your astrology chart. You have too much money. You need to reduce the amount of money you have. Give it to me. And if you believe them, you are a sucker. Well, there are people that are doing modern versions of it today. So we don't teach this, not in the university. Now, is this mathematical and scientific? You need to study some mathematics and some physics, know something, probably taught in the physics department on our campus, the first course in astronomy. People who study astronomy, what are they studying? They're studying what you can figure out about the stars, about the sun, about the moon, and the objects in the sky based on from here on Earth, and actually sending some things out into space to get a little closer to objects like the moon. Of course, in your lifetime, humans haven't been to the moon for a while. They went there back in 1969 and in the 70s, but it was expensive, so they stopped going. And we teach this at the university. Now, we've got the same word, unfortunately, psychology. And I'll call it media psychology or pop psychology. This is what many people come into intro psych thinking they're going to get in here. Because they've seen Dr. Phil or they've heard Dr. Susan Forward, radio psychologist. Dr. Phil and Dr. Joyce Brothers. Dr. Susan Forward has a doctorate in nothing. She has no psychology degree. Dr. Laura Schlesinger has a doctorate in physiology, not psychology. She's giving psychological advice to people on the radio. Do people at universities think that this advice and these programs are a good thing? That you should take a person who's here's a clinical psychologist here, a person studying to be one, based on what you've learned. Do you think it's a good idea to take a vulnerable patient, put them on television, have them reveal their secrets on the Dr. Phil show and get instant analysis by a psychologist on the air?
Well, I'm no professional, but no.
No, yeah. It shouldn't be hard to figure this out. But for some reason, a lot of people haven't figured this out. No reputable psychologist would do this on television or on the radio. It's not ethical. And a lot of people aren't aware of this. How do these shows exist? Well, would it be ethical to be selling this as if it was science? No, but you know it already. It's for fun, it's entertainment, it's in Cosmo magazine. It's your astrology column. But this is unethical, criminal. But it's on TV and a lot of people aren't aware of it yet. Well, you're going to learn about that while we're in here. Now over here, we're not going to do that. We have the same word, unfortunately. I'm not going to use the word university psychology as if somehow we're living in our own isolated, weird, and strange world where we publish articles in journals and don't pay attention to what's going on in the world and everybody else thinks we're crazy. But this stuff over here is a lot of nonsense you're exposed to, and that you come bringing these ideas you've got to immediately learn in this class to set this stuff aside as dangerous, unscientific, maybe for entertainment. I mean, that's the idea. Judge Judy, everybody knows it's for entertainment, right? Dr. Phil, you got to realize that's for entertainment. Bob Newhart, when he played a psychologist, you know, and then he had a long-running show. Another person that influenced people, if you watch the old reruns of these shows on, I don't know, Nickelodeon or some of these cable channels. Soap operas that have psychologists, psychiatrists, movies like Psycho and these other movies. This is for entertainment. This has nothing to do with psychology. So you've got to put this stuff aside and realize this stuff is not, it's about as scientific as this astrology, but people aren't as aware of it. So over here in university psychology, that's what we're going to be doing in this class. And you'll see when you look through Callett's book, one of the things I want you to do right away is look at the chapters. You're going to see research methods and statistics and biological psychology, physiological psychology, you know, developmental psychology, personality psychology, social psychology, mathematical psychology. You're going to be turning the pages and learning industrial organizational psychology, all these different fields besides just clinical. And we will talk about clinical psychology, but clinical is what you've been exposed to quite a bit here, where people are being treated for psychological disorder. And there's a lot of misinformation in the media about psychological disorders. We'll be getting to that earlier on in the course. So,